And of course, as you hit the roads this morning to get to work or school, give yourself some extra time to be alert, watch out for those school zones, and don't drive intoxicated. Joining me now to explain just what that means is Daniel Armbruster with AAA Texas. Good morning, Daniel.
Good morning, Stacia.
Okay, so intoxicated obviously sounds odd, but apparently this is a pretty big problem.
Yeah, it's a fun play on words, but certainly a very serious topic. 9 people are killed every day in the United States by distracted drivers. And that, of course, includes pedestrians as well, not just people on the roadway.
And it's not just texting, of course. How much does using a smartphone for any reason increase a person's risk and being in an accident?
Yeah, so looking down at your phone for just 2 seconds doubles your risk for a crash. And so we know that, of course, with students going back to school and an increase in distracted driving during the pandemic in 2020 when fewer people were driving, and now with more people returning to the roadway, it's a big concern for us here at AAA and many in the traffic safety community.
Daniel, AAA Texas just put out a new PSA to encourage passengers to speak up. Why are PSAs like this so important?
Well, we have 2 PSAs that are out as we kids go back to school. One, and they have alternative endings. One where a child passenger speaks up and tells mom to put the phone down, and one where no one speaks up in the vehicle. And in that particular scenario, mom crashes into children or strikes children in a crossing zone because no one spoke up. And so the idea of these PSAs, part of a multi-year campaign that we do at AAA, is to get passengers, no matter what age, to speak up in the vehicle, because we know from a recent survey that nearly 9 out of 10 people would ask a driver to allow them to drive if they had been drinking, but they would not ask a driver to put down their cell phone. Only about 6 out of 10 would say that. And we found that statistic alarming. And so we're just asking everyone to please speak up. If you see a driver texting, it's dangerous and can be deadly.
Yeah, that's an interesting perspective on it, but you're absolutely right. You don't think nearly as much danger involved with a phone, but there is. All schools finally in our area are back in class as of today, with school zones back in effect. What do drivers really need to remember?
Well, of course, putting your phone down and eliminating distractions is very important, but also slowing down. Just 10 miles an hour can make a really big difference. In studies show that, at 25 miles per hour, a child is nearly 2/3 less likely to be killed compared to being struck at 35 miles per hour. Of course, we don't want anyone to be struck, but the speed plays a very important role. So making sure that you're slowing down, you're coming to a complete stop at stop signs, you're watching out for bicycles, but especially just watch out for those kids. Little kids can emerge out of nowhere, and certainly they're going to be excited on the first day of school.
Yeah, they will be. Okay, Daniel Armbruster with AAA Texas, thanks so much for joining us this morning, and thanks for that information.